Help support Friendo Club by going to patreon.com/Steven Larson or clicking join at youtube.com/Steven Larson. Access to bonus episodes, question threads for the Going In Raw podcast, and entry to our monthly wrestling predictions challenges. Join the Friendo Club today. Hey, Friendo, Steve here.
Hell, Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to. On today's episode, we're going to talk about this past Friday's WWE Smackdown and, of course, WWE releases, including, shockingly, devastatingly, tragically, Von Wagner. What a shot to the gut.
Yeah,
Man.
that stings. That stinks.
We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna wallow in our sadness over the Von Wagner release, and also talk about cheesy Bill Goldberg calling the calling the old kettle black or whatever it is.
Oof.
Pot meet kettle or whatever.
Yes.
The fucking phrase is.
Let's start with the releases. So Fightful Sean Ross Sapp reported Friday, either shortly before SmackDown or during SmackDown.
Yeah, it was in the vicinity of SmackDown.
That Jinder Mahal, Veer, Sangha, Xia Li, and Zion Quinn have been released by WWE. Subsequently, Fightful Select reported, quote, "Internally, the releases were cited as budget cuts, though we're not sure what was indicated to talent. The talent were informed Friday evening. When he asked around about the cuts, Fightful were told by WWE higher-ups that it was a combination of not appearing on television due to creative, not having anything for the talent, as well as upward trajectory based on progression and how long they've been with the company." PW Insider shortly thereafter added, PW Insider is told that there are no additional WWE releases expected at this time. The word among talents is that the calls to those who were cut were very different from the past. We are told that the calls were far less curt and more apologetic and respectful towards the talents they had been under previous talent relations regimes. Today we found out, in fact, there was one more release that had happened over the weekend. That was Going In Raw favorite. He's a two-time Going In Raw Wrestler of the Year award winner.
Yeah.
Von Wagner released over the weekend as well. It always stinks when talent gets released.
Yeah,
It
dude.
stinks.
You know, we can. Von Wagner was. It's funny because, you know, Von and to a degree Zion Quinn and Jinder Mahal, they were definitely Jinder Mahal. They were all, you know, they were all performers with very unique charisma. Same can be said about the rest of them. You know, I mean, they really did pick some characters with these performers that unfortunately, I guess for whatever reason, they just couldn't find something for them creatively, which is a bit surprising because you want those unique types, you know, on the screen. Even Zion Quinn, you know, that dude went through ups and downs when it came to how they were presenting him. And of course, last we saw him, he was getting squashed by Braun Breaker in like 6 seconds or whatever that match was.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a shame that they couldn't find something for these guys. And yeah, it's a bummer. I do think that, you know, hopefully they've all taken, you know, what they've learned, you know, the ones that never made it to like main roster properly. I know Von Wagner had a one single scene on main roster as apparently Adam Pearce's bodyguard.
Wasn't he in that? There's a battle royal shortly after the draft. Wasn't he in
I
that
think
too?
you're right. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, you're right. You know, obviously Jinder, former world champion, you know, been around for a long time, had his own release before, came back in just phenomenal shape. And we all know that story. So there's, you know, different paths and different journeys within WWE these people have been on. And hopefully they land in a spot where they are doing what they love to do. Yep. And I'd love to see, you know, Cal Bloom, Von Wagner, land in a spot like a TNA, like an AEW. Maybe I'll tune into his segments, you know. You know, sort of half jokingly, I was like, well, he can reunite with his young boy Kyle O'Reilly, especially now, you know, that he's feuding with Kingdom. But I don't know if that'll happen, you know. Yeah, I don't have the pencil. And Jinder Mahal, you know, I don't know. Maybe Tony Khan will want to capitalize on the whole, you know, short-lived feud they had online.
Yeah,
you know, him and Hook or something. I don't know. hopefully they find some shit that they really enjoy doing, and they succeed wildly in life, and they're able to use what they got in WWE to further their careers.
Agreed, 1,000%. And it's interesting seeing Vaughn get released when seemingly they had really turned a corner in terms of his creative, and he was getting over with the NXT crowd.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, we had heard in the past that there was a more structured evaluation process, I would guess specifically for NXT, where I think it was every 6 months there was an evaluation, and if they trainers, performance center, whoever, didn't feel like the talent was performing to where they should be, then they were potentially could be released. But seeing, I know we haven't watched NXT a lot over the last year or so. Kind of when we stopped watching NXT was when they really kind of cracked the story for Vaughn, and he seemed to be getting over. And I'd see clips where the crowd was really getting behind him. I think his last match was the Stand, Deliver, Go Home episode where he lost to Lexis King.
Yeah.
And the crowd was really behind him. So that one's a bit of a head scratcher if it's simply a situation where he's been developmental for a while, and they just didn't think, well, he's not progressing at the rate that we think he should, and then that led to his release. That's a bummer because it really did feel like they turned a corner with him.
It did, yeah, it did, and I don't know what evaluations were done, or if they were just like, man, we have no idea what to do with this guy, and we tried to do the stuff with Stone where he was having dinner at his house, and we tried making him more relatable with when I was a little kid, I had this issue with my head situation, and I don't know, maybe they're just like, that's it's not really a direction that we can go in. Long term, maybe they're just, trying to understand what their philosophy is going from NXT to main roster, where there does seem to be a greater focus on the long term aspect of things and what you could do with that.
Definitely. Then someone like Xia Li, who both in NXT on main roster in terms of presentation, they were doing some really interesting stuff.
If you go back also to the NXT Tien Shaw stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
That
presentation
stuff
on that was top notch.
Fucking outstanding. And I honestly think that might have been the kind of thing that was maybe sort of concocted a little bit too late. Like, because it was right on the verge of 2.0, the 2.0 rebrand, where Tien Shaw really would have no place. It really needed like sort of that darker atmosphere, or at least an atmosphere not like 2.0, which, all of a sudden it looked like a Nickelodeon set. And even contrasted to main roster. Like Raw, Raw these days is like, it's an emphasis on black with like red highlights, not like it was when Vince was around before these presentation changes, where it was just red, burning holes into your TV. And so, yeah, that's a bummer, because that Tien Shaw stuff was really, really cool.
Really good. It was really good. Even when she was on main roster, the vignettes they had for her were really well done.
Comic book stuff,
yeah, that was really well done. And I liked, when she'd come out and she like the lightning would emanate from her and stuff. That was super cool.
Yeah,
that was awesome. And it's a situation where she'd get some matches, get some TV time, be off TV for weeks or months. Try it again, off TV for weeks or months, and just it was all this start stop. Involvement for her. You can't get momentum if that's the case. But that's the case with Jinder and Veer and Sangha too. Both in NXT and on main roster.
And dude, the thing is, they're all incredibly talented people.
Oh yeah.
And the thing that gives me some hope for them is, as we've seen so many other times before, sometimes maybe it's a blessing in disguise in a way. And I always relate back to, you can look at this in wrestling with Drew McIntyre, as we said, Jinder Mahal, any number of people who go away, they get released, and you see it as a negative, obviously, because, hey, you like that stability. You like the idea that I'm here and I can work my way up. And I relate it to our own experiences. And I'm not just saying this about other people, because we've been there. We got released from Machinima. And, I remember my dad at the time said, he said, Stevie, this probably needed to happen for you guys to realize your fullest potential, because you and I were always going to be better off without the constraints of a larger company. Now, did we enjoy getting that paycheck and the insurance? All this? Yeah, absolutely. But, we weren't going to get to where we needed to get under that, and being let go was the best thing for our careers.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that's the case in not just wrestling, but just life. You know, sometimes you got to be forced out there in order to make the most of what you can accomplish. And you know, given that we've seen that their release was done maybe with more sensitivity and more respect, we'll leave that door open both ways. If Xia Li goes out, realizes her fullest potential elsewhere, and then has an open door to come back.
Yeah.
You know, and that goes for everybody else as well. So, you know, sometimes you take what's a negative and you turn it into, you know, a much bigger positive than if you were just lingering in the same place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. I guess now we got to talk about Goldberg.
Dun, 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 dun. The real reason why Goldberg's not an AEW has been revealed, Larson. So
cheesy, says Goldberg.
Bill Goldberg recently spoke with 93.7 The Ticket. Do we know where that is?
No.
Okay. There's a 93.7 here in town, but I don't think they're The Ticket.
Most parts of the country have a 93.7. Usually it's like a classic rock station, too.
He was
the
asked.
FCC earmarked 93.7 for classic rock.
Yeah. Some 38 special, maybe?
Hold on loosely.
Yeah, that's
to the concept of Goldberg showing up in AEW.
So anyways, he was asked if he had spoken with Tony Khan about joining All Elite Wrestling. This is what Bill Goldberg had to say. He says, I've talked to him a number of times throughout the past, but this is where you're going to get the most blunt answer you're going to get from me. The product's too cheesy. The product's too cheesy. It doesn't deserve to have, I mean, whatever. You're really going to get me going. But if there was a comparable, viable option as a competitor that would allow me to still look myself in the mirror after I was a member of their roster, yeah, that would be a consideration, but not a chance. Oh, boy.
I have a question.
Man, fuck this guy.
Yeah, pretty much.
What's your question? Sorry, what's your question?
I was going to say,
question?
didn't Goldberg wrestle for a company that had a character named Hugh Morris?
Yeah. General Erection.
Yeah, later General Erection. You know, like his time at WCW, there was tons of cheesy storylines and characters.
Man,
like, I don't know what his definition of cheesy is here.
I don't know. He's super cheesy though.
Yeah, he is.
Like I'm so over this guy. You know, like it's honestly like just go back and watch him run down, in his words, quote, some Japanese girl.
That was
talking
awful.
About Asuka beating his
terrible.
stupid streak.
That was terrible.
So I don't know. I don't nothing he says lands with me anymore. Really, I think this is just in the notes for us to clown the guy.
Yeah.
You know, watch any of his matches in WWE and try to come up with something good. Like Bobby Lashley had to carry him to a decent match the last time we saw him. Poor Bobby Lashley had to deal with that shit. That's just a testament to him.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know. Who knows what the real story is? I don't know if Tony can. Like, look, man, if AEW is a place where at the very least you get good wrestling matches, Bill Goldberg ain't the fit.
No.
He's not the guy for that place, you know, because we did see some really phenomenal matches last night.
We did, absolutely.
And I don't think Goldberg would have fit into that even on the worst level. What are we going to do? Goldberg versus Jericho? Let's do that.
Ugh. Minus, hey, speaking of which, we got our star ratings up for Dynasty right now, but if it was Jericho versus Goldberg on the Dynasty card, that might be the first time we ever went to negative star territory, Steve.
I got close today. I was waffling between my first negative.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Wow. It wasn't a good match, Jericho and Hook, but not bad enough to be a negative star match. Anyways, Goldberg.
But yeah, they're up right now. We're literally competing with ourselves. We're like, hey, we're going to go live in about 15 minutes.
We promised these star ratings as hot and fresh.
Yeah.
And sure, we could have postponed them till 3, and they still have been in relation to those other guys, hot and fresh. But for us, really late.
Yeah, dude. Like, you know, if we get these star ratings up within like after 12 hours from the finish of the show, then the temperature starts to go down a bit, man.
It's like it's sitting on the windowsill to cool off.
Yeah.
Some animal might come by and steal them, and then they're lost. They got to be fresh.
Yeah,
piping
man.
hot out of the oven.
It's got to be like, 1 p.m. Sacramento, July.
Yeah.
That's what it's got to be like. Just
How I like my apple pie, right out of the microwave.
it's too
Molten.
hot, man. That's too hot.
No such thing. No such
Anyways,
thing.
yeah. So Bill Goldberg, is he ever going to go on his retirement tour, dude?
I don't know.
Listen to this dream lineup: Goldberg versus Flair. How about this? Goldberg versus Hogan. That shit would probably sell out. They'd probably double up that pay-per-view number yesterday.
Legends of Wrestling territory, Steve.
Yeah,
Legends of Wrestling territory.
I know, exactly. Oh my goodness gracious.
Ugh. Anyway, Steve, you wanna pay some bills before we
Oh yeah,
talk
let's go ahead
Smackdown?
and do that. Yeah.
All right.
Enough talking smack about Bill Goldberg. We'll talk about Smackdown instead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Larson.
This episode of Going in Raw is sponsored by BetterHelp, Steve. The
Yes.
weather is getting warmer, and with it, my social calendar is starting to fill up. But I'm starting to realize that maybe my social battery isn't what it used to be. And I'm getting kind of worried that I might be ignoring my social battery level and start spreading myself and my social energy a bit thin.
Nah, man, I hear you. I've noticed the same lately, and I'm still trying to figure out exactly what's the right amount of socializing for old Steve here and how I go about recharging my social battery after socializing.
Exactly. And whether you thrive around people or feel like you need some time to yourself, therapy can give you the self-awareness to build a social life that doesn't drain your social battery. Back when I was dealing with severe anxiety in my mid-20s, my social battery basically running on empty, and I avoided social gatherings pretty much altogether. But therapy helped me learn the tools I needed to better cope with my anxiety and help me charge up my social battery.
And if you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. BetterHelp is completely online and designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited for your schedule. And all you got to do to get started is fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and then you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge.
So find your social sweet spot with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/raw today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/raw. And let's get a word from our sponsor, Liquid IV. I think I speak for both of us here when I say this, that one of the things that brings us just immense joy are semi-weekly basketball games that we play. And Steve, as the temperatures start to rise, it's even more important that we stay hydrated while we're out there making moments on the basketball court.
Man, it was like 82 last Friday, and we were out there acting like we were in the Tunisian desert, Larson.
It's hot.
Anyway, super hot. But you know what, man? With a single stick of Liquid IV in 16 ounces of water, that hydrates me better than water alone. And with 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink, plus 8 vitamins and nutrients for everyday wellness, Liquid IV helps me avoid those nasty dehydration headaches I used to get after hooping it up. But Liquid IV is also the perfect companion to help you stay hydrated while traveling, after a long night out, or if you're just chilling poolside.
Yeah, and given how much I sweat and we play, Liquid IV is essential for me so I can replenish my electrolytes and keep hitting three-pointers in your face, Steve. Also, for someone like me who doesn't like sugar, Liquid IV comes in 4 delicious sugar-free flavors. You got white peach, lemon lime, green grape, and my favorite, raspberry melon. So tear, pour, and live more and turn your ordinary water into extraordinary hydration with Liquid IV. Get 20% off your first order of Liquid IV when you go to liquidiv.com and use code RAW at checkout.
That's 20% off your first order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code RAW at liquidiv.com. All right, man. Anyways, Smackdown. We're going to talk about what MFT stands for? Multi-fungible token? Is that what it is? What is this Tama-Tonga?
Fungible is, that was, if you're referencing what, NFTs. Yeah.
That's NFTs, but MFT. I'm just trying to figure out what Solo Sikoa is talking about when it comes to Tama-Tonga, because he has been declared his MFT of the bloodline. So we're going to try to figure that
My
out
friend
today.
Otama.
My friend Ot. Yeah, I know, but here's the thing. It's not going to be a my. M's not going to be my because he said it's my MFT. It's not going to be redundant.
Is that
you know
sort of
what I
like
mean?
when people call it an ATM machine, even though M stands for what does M stand for?
Machine.
Machine.
Automatic teller machine, I think.
Yeah. See, it's
No, you're going to ATM. I'm going to ATM, but you're not going to the ATM machine because
a
you
lot of
already
people
said
say I got to
machine.
go to the ATM machine.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. No, you
They-
just got to go to the
they
ATM.
double it up,
Yeah.
and
It's
it could be the same thing.
saying DC Comics stands for Detective Comics. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, you see my point. So it could be by, or it could be MFing Tama.
Oh, motherfucking Tama.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool too. What'd you think about SmackDown this week?
I thought it was a pretty solid show. I think what they're doing with Tama Tonga is awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
He's menacing
Terrifying.
in the perfect way.
Yeah.
Super violent. And like that bit where he's hugging Solo
Yeah.
and never taking his eyes off Paul Heyman the whole time. Terrifying.
Yeah.
And he rammed his rental car into Kevin Owens' rental car. Busted Kevin Owens open and just beat the hell out of him.
Yeah.
You know, and covered in his blood. Man, I don't know if they could book Tama Tonga better. And just imagine when he comes, if he comes out for his matches like he did in New Japan, you know, moving all kind of stealthily and stuff. Oh, aura, presence. That's what he's developing, and I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah, he's terrifying. My only complaint about SmackDown is that commentary bizarrely undersold. You know, Kevin Owens comes out looking like Massive Head Wound Harry.
Yeah.
You know, remember that skit from SNL?
Yeah.
It's one of the sort of underrated skits, I feel, because it was just one joke and they just ran it into the ground like they did so often back then. But it was pretty funny still, especially when the dog started chewing on it. And even though there was no dog chewing on Kevin Owens' head wound, it was still pretty massive. And I appreciate that we're just in the blood era. You know, the Paul Levesque era is just like, okay, blood time. And Kevin Owens comes out with this horrific head injury, and all commentary is just very sort of in a very mellow fashion saying, oh yeah, man, wow, Kevin Owens might need some help. Tama Tonga is just, they were just blabbering about like kind of nonsense. And I was like, oh my, you guys should be shocked and horrified right now because this moment is like, it's gnarly. Like Kevin Owens he's in a bad state of affairs.
Yeah.
And they really didn't sell that moment commentary because it was really shocking and really, really cool because you don't see that very often.
No, you know, it'd been pretty cool. And I don't know if they could have done this. There's a lot of logistics that would have prevented it. Where Solo and Heyman are in the ring, and Heyman's like, I don't know where Kevin Owens is. And we cut backstage to the car pulling up. We've seen that a lot. As Kevin Owens pulls that car in drive or in park, Tama Tonga plows into it. You do the one shot thing where Tama Tonga grabs Kevin Owens out of the car and just beating the hell out of him. You know, Kevin Owens, blades, and by the time he comes out the stage, just pouring blood out, do it all in one shot. That'd been incredible if they could have done that. Logistically, I understand it's a nightmare, but
that had to have been pitched. You know, that was pitched. But I think you're right. I think logistically that there's no way they could have done that. You know, but yeah,
not live. They could have done it live for sure.
Right, yeah. Even pre-taped, like how do you do that in one shot? I mean, yeah, you could. I guess you can move the camera and then get people in a position if you're gonna have stunt drivers. But yeah, I don't know, man. I thought that was a really, really effective segment, undersold by commentary. And I also kind of feel like, and I get the idea of selling Owens as like this badass. So yeah, I mean, to set it up. The idea is Tama Tonga, crazy guy, rammed his car into Kevin Owens' car during Solo Sikoa's promo. Kevin Owens comes out and he's just got this massive head wound. So he shows up. I guess I understand and I appreciate them selling Kevin Owens as like a badass and everything. Kind of feel like he got too much shit in though. You know, like he got up, he should have been done. Like that head wound was gnarly.
Yeah, it was.
But I thought in terms of giving us some really solid story beats. And Solo, I thought his promo was the best promo we've seen from Solo.
Oh, yeah.
His reaction to the crowd booing him and his finally giving us some enunciation, projecting his voice. Man, I thought it was good. I thought it
Yeah.
was really, really good, and I thought that he is incredibly believable as this leader of this new bad bloodline. You've already mentioned how scary Tama Tonga is coming off, and I love that side eye with the hug. I thought was
Oh,
awesome.
so good.
I think that this version of the bloodline is off to a really, really strong start, and I'm looking forward to them kicking it up to the next level. I don't know if Jacob Fatu is going to factor into that, what they're going to do next. But, this whole push and pull with Heyman trying to say, hey, dude, Roman's still in charge. Well, Roman ain't around. I don't know if Roman's going to be around.
Yeah.
So watching Heyman have to deal with this situation getting out of control is a really great moment. And it reminds me of, we might get some moments that are reminiscent of peak Bloodline when people were stepping on eggshells around Roman, and Jay would pop off and say, I don't give a damn what the tribal chief says, and the entire audience gasps.
Yeah.
You know, those are the good moments. Those are the moments where we're like, oh my God, this is just really compelling television. So yeah, I think it's off to a really, really strong start.
Same. I thought it was pretty spectacular, and the add potentially Jacob Fatu to the whole thing, and the possibility is there for it to really kick it up to another level. Let's talk about these new SmackDown, WB tag titles. We figured when Raw got new tag titles, SmackDown would get new belts as well. And I guess I was more or less expecting a carbon copy of the undisputed men and women's title. And that's not what we got at all.
Nope.
We got something way more reminiscent of the old tag titles with the unusual shape of the main plate itself. Griffin still like the Raw ones. However, don't see the thigh meat so much. Hairier instead.
Yeah.
But Griffin still, so that unifies them.
Yeah.
But absolutely beautiful championship belts. Just the right amount of a nod to history and the legacy of tag team championships in WWE. And it's consistent with the other tag titles because they both have Griffins. But man, spectacular belts. Immediately shot to the top of any sort of power rankings, the best looking titles in WWE.
I thought they looked really good. I thought they looked much better than the pizza titles over on Raw, which I actually still like. I think that on camera they look really good. They look much better than the WWE shop renders, and these do as well. I thought they looked amazing on Theory and Waller. I love that the WWE logo is. See, I'm a fan of the network logo titles, but I can also admit that's sometimes a bit too much. You don't want everything to look like that. And I love that the WWE logo and the globe behind it, a bit on the smaller side. These would look at home on either brand, you know? And I think that's kind of one of the reasons why they went in the direction they did, because you and I had talked about if the men's world title and the women's world title, if they were to swap brands and there's like the globe, the bulbous title with the network logo title on, like, the WWE women's title with Damian Priest's world title, is that going to be weird? Is all that mixing up going to be weird? Tag titles and the mid card titles at this point, it's not a deal. It's not a deal at all, because they can be in either one. So I thought that was a really smart move. I think the title looks great. I did a whole Wrestle Juice video breaking it down, looking at the Griffin, looking at that at the thighs there. Is it too much hair? Do you want more meat? If the hair is really well groomed, does that matter? So a lot of good, healthy discourse going on over there. If you want to check that video out there.
There you go. Plug for Steve's video. Awesome titles. Let's jump into it. Show kicked off with Bayley and Naomi arriving at the arena separately. And then we got right into some action. It was a atypically wrestling in-ring action-heavy episode of SmackDown.
Action now, man. WWE, where wrestlers wrestle.
Yes. So we got LA Knight. Yeah. Taking on AJ Styles. Really fun bout.
Was the outcome of this match in doubt for you, Larson?
Not at all.
Oh, come on. It's supposed to, nah.
Huh?
Nah.
Not at all. No, dummy. AJ won as expected. Had to poke LA Knight in the eyes to get the win. Really fun match. These two guys have good chemistry.
They do. Yeah, they do. They actually do. Yeah, AJ sort of brought LA Knight to some of his better matches in WWE. So, yeah, AJ moves on to Backlash France to take on Cody Rhodes for that WWE title. Don't expect a win for AJ there, but hopefully we can get maybe they'll drum up some sort of meaty story for Cody. You know, a la what they try to do with Brock and to a degree Shinsuke Nakamura. So we get, you know, a couple of these matches because, as we know, AJ Styles, it's still remarkable to me that he put on so much muscle and yet not a lot has changed in terms of his in-ring. He hasn't had to dial it back at all. Still a really just awesome, you know, seller. The body control, it's
Off
still
the
all
charts.
there. It really is, yeah. So yeah, AJ gets the win here. He moves on to face Cody in Lyon, France.
Yep. After that, we have a recap of last week, or from last week, with the Bloodline kicking Jimmy out. And then SUV pulls up at the arena. Paul Heyman's there waiting. Solo, wearing a nice suit.
Oh yeah, it looked like $1 million.
Yeah, exits the SUV, and Heyman says to him, Solo, nice threads. And so Tama Tonga walks up behind Heyman. And Solo says, wise man, meet the newest member of the Bloodline, my MFT.
Hey, let me ask you this.
What?
So we all know that LA Knight,
Yeah.
his finisher is the BFT, the billionaire finger trap.
Yeah,
Is he his millionaire finger trap?
maybe.
I don't really know what that would mean, but
I don't know either, but
sounds like it could be we're on
trying
the
to-
right track.
ascertain what it means because we don't know.
No wrong answers here.
Not yet, at least. So Solo gives Tama a hug, while Tama just gives Heyman side eye the whole time. And so Heyman says, Solo? Solo interrupts Heyman, says, "It's Kevin Owens here. It's Kevin Owens here." And Heyman goes, well, I presume he is. He's most likely inside the locker room. The show's already started. And Solo says, take me to him. And Heyman says, all right, it's this way. And so they walk into the arena together.
Yeah. Impatient Solo. Not huge on Heyman talking so much.
No.
We get
No,
more
we
of
find
that
out later,
though.
too.
Yeah. So after that, it's time to play the game, Larson. It's the Triple H, Paul Levesque era. I wish he'd come out to that one.
Oh.
In any event, Triple H gets on the mic. He's on the heels of the most epic, history-making, record-breaking WrestleMania of all time. We're here tonight, sold out Pittsburgh, PA. Let me say welcome to Smackdown. I just want to take a second to say that Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis doing a tremendous job of leading their brands into the future. Because of both of you, the future is very bright. But when you talk about that future, you got to talk about the history you made coming into that future. I want to make sure that when history is made here, it's made in a way befitting of those that make the history. So, Nick, if you would, bring the champs out here. So, Nick Aldis introduce A-Town Down Under. They come to the ring with their old booty SmackDown tag titles. Waller says, on Monday, you got to award the second place titles to the Awesome Truth. That's what's up. And tonight, you both have the honor of presenting to the real winners of WrestleMania, A-Town Down Under, with our new championships. And Theory says, speaking of truth, didn't he say that you were a magician? Well, Mr. Magician, I don't know what kind of magic trick you got up your sleeve to make us look better than we already do. So Triple H says, all right. With that said, he's already sort of on his last nerve with these guys.
Completely over him, yeah.
He says, congratulations on becoming tag champs. So let me show you what you'll be wearing going forward. And from now on, you'll be known as WWE Tag Team Champions. He busts out the new titles. They look great. He extends his hand to Grayson Waller. Waller acts like he's about to shake the hand, but instead, whoop-ha, goes over to Theory. Do you see Triple H's face? And there are some wonderful memes on Twitter where people are like putting on his face. They show his face, and it's flashing to him dropping people with pedigrees and sledgehammers and whatnot. So anyways, Aldis has to step up because Triple H looks like he's about to one-man power trip these guys.
Yeah.
And he sort of gets in between them. And Aldis says, let me make this crystal clear. You two ever pop off at the mouth and disrespect him like that again, I'll show you a real magic trick, and I'll make A-Clown Down Under disappear permanently. So Aldis takes the old titles off and says, now if you two want to focus on comedy and not wrestling, one of these teams is going to make these titles disappear really quick too, because the fatal four-way match for the number one contendership, that begins right now, which was actually a lie because first we got a Naomi interview.
Yeah, but Street Profits came to the ring right after all this said and done, so entrances began at least. But before a match, we got a Naomi interview, so Kayla asks if her friendship with Bayley is going to get in the way of her chance of becoming champion. And Naomi says, no, of course not. Bayley's my sister. I love her. Bayley needed my help against Damage Control. I was more than happy to give it to her, but no way am I going to let friendship get in the way of this amazing opportunity that I have here tonight. It's been over 2 years since my last singles championship match here on Smackdown, and there's nothing I'm going to let get in the way of making the most of this moment tonight. Now, last week, I made Tiffany feel the glow, and I want to keep that same energy going tonight. I look forward to the WWE Draft next week, where I look forward to being listed as the new WWE Women's Champion. And then we had this fatal four-way tag match, which was tons of fun.
Yeah, they gave this a lot of time, and it was wildly fun. This was really, really cool. Everybody got time to shine. They did the thing where like all three guys do crazy shit going to the outside.
Yeah.
This was really rad, man. I love this match.
It was great. It was great. So down towards the finish, New Catch Republic Hysteria moonsaults as Ford leaps over the ring post to take out AOP and Legado. And then Bate puts Humberto in the ring, looks for a Tyler driver. Humberto counters with a backdrop, rolls up Bate, gets a 2 there. Humberto drops Bate with a clothesline. Then Legado hits Bate with a pop-up kick. Humberto takes out Dunn with a suicide dive. And then Angel hits Bate with the moonsault. But Ford breaks up that pin with a frog splash. Dawkins tags in. Street Profits hit their finisher on Angel to get the win. They'll be facing A-Town Down Under. I would guess at Backlash, maybe?
Oh, it seems right. That seems right.
Yeah, you think so.
I mean, that's coming up in not this weekend, but the next one.
Yeah.
So be
about a couple weeks, yeah.
Unless it's like there's going to be like 6 matches and there's no room for the tag battles. Maybe.
Could be. After that, we got a Bayley interview. So Byron asked her about her title defense against Naomi. And they just did a recap prior to this interview of Rhea having to vacate the Women's World Championship. So Bayley says, after seeing Rhea have to vacate her title on Raw, it makes me appreciate this more. I'm focused. It also made me realize I'm the only women's champion in WWE right now, and that's not something I take for granted, because we all know with the draft coming up, things are bound to change. As excited as I am to face my friend Naomi tonight, there's one thing that's not going to change, and that's me as your WWE Women's Champion.
Good stuff. After that, we had Solo and Heyman backstage. Heyman says, I'm sorry, we can't find Kevin Owens, but he has to be here. Look at the time. Solo, we're going to find him. I mean, he has to be somewhere in this locker room. And Solo just walks off. Heyman keeps talking. Heyman follows. They walk in a gorilla position. And Heyman says, look, Solo, I'm not trying to piss you off. Believe me, the last person I want to piss off is you. But respectfully, you're making decisions that are not yours to be made yet. One day, these will all be your exclusive decisions, but not now and not here. These are decisions that could only be made by one man. Solo just says, are you done yet? Are you? And Heyman says, is your MFT coming with us? And Solo holds up his spiking thumb. Smiles. They walk through the curtain and make their entrance to the arena as SmackDown rolls on. So after that, they show up. Heyman starts. He says, ladies and gentlemen, my name's Paul Heyman. I don't know if there's a list of the most brilliant backstage politicians in the history of WWE, but if there were such a list, I'd have to think that I would be on top. So permit me, with Solo's permission, to explain the backstage politics that are going on right now within the Bloodline, the premier act in the history of WWE. The crowd starts chanting, we want Roman.
Yeah.
Loudly. So Heyman continues. He says, I assure you, as the wise man, and then Solo just snatches the mic from Heyman. He says, last week I had to lose a brother. In order to find a new one, my MFT, Tama Tonga. But he's just like getting booed, and he has to keep on stopping himself, and he composing himself. At one point, he's got like the mic away from him. You can just sort of see him mouth, you're not going to boo me. You don't boo me. Mm-hmm. And then he composes himself, and he gets back in. It was the best Solo we've seen on the mic.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. So he finishes up, and then a bloody Kevin Owens crawls out into the ramp. Tama Tonga not far behind. He chucks Owens down the ramp more. So refs and medical come down to check on Kevin Owens as Tama Tonga gets in the ring and puts up his one. Put up your one, Steve. Solo looks over to Heyman. Solo puts up his one. Camera cuts to a wider shot, and Heyman's in the background, like holding up his one, but not really wanting to. Mm-hmm. So Kevin Owens breaks free of medical and pulls Tama Tonga out of the ring and starts hitting him with punches. Solo exits the ring, throws Kevin Owens at the ring steps, throws him back in the ring. Tama gets in there too. Kevin Owens takes him down, hits some ground and pound. Wrestling producers try to break it up. But then the Chaos Solo breaks free. Bang, spike on KO. So Tama Tonga hits some ground and pound on Owens. Security eventually grabs him off. Tama goes and gets the chair. And Nick Aldis gets between Tama Tonga and Kevin Owens. And Solo tells Tama, hey, cool off. Back down, takes the chair from him, throws him out of the ring, throws the chair out of the ring, and they take their leave. They're doing a great job so far with Tama Tonga. It's great.
Yeah. No, they absolutely are. So this next part was awesome too. So Heyman's backstage. Aldis walks up to him, grabs him by the arm, and Heyman is just completely traumatized at this point. And he says, I want you to walk with me. Were you aware of this? You mean to tell me you weren't aware of this? And the camera pans over and there's like a car wreck, right? And Aldis says, allow me to paint you a picture. One of those rental cars belongs to Kevin Owens, and the other is your boy's Tama Tonga. And Heyman's like, this wasn't authorized. And Aldis says, on my show, we handle things in the ring. Next week, we've got the draft. A lot of eyeballs, top brass. I'm not going to tolerate this type of savage behavior. Now, tell me you understand. And Heyman just he's just sort of like not handling the moment well. He says, I understand. And Aldis says, make sure the bloodline understands, because, Paul, if you don't, the repercussions are going to be equally savage. Losing isn't the only thing that has consequences. So, woo.
It's good stuff.
This is tense.
Shout out to Nick Aldis. What a fantastic hire.
Great work. Yeah.
He's so good in this role. So good.
He really is. Yeah, he really is. We got a super chat here from Past. Says, just stopping by, my brothers. I've been part of the replay crew for a while because of work, but I'm glad to see you're both still at it. Keep up the great work, and here's to your continued success for life. Thank you so much for the super chat. That's so nice of you. Also, earlier, Griga says, with $5 super chat, says, I'm craving a double Del Bacon cheeseburger. You got any?
Man, don't talk food right now. I'm so hungry. Ryan K. Lamb also had a super chat earlier. Says, when is the Von Wagner going in Raw interview dropping?
Man, we got to start getting on that, man. We got to reach out to some people.
Maybe.
What would be the first thing you ask him? What would be the most interesting topic? Hey, what were the plans for you on SmackDown, being Pierce's bodyguard?
There you go.
What do you think his answer would be?
I mean, the obvious first question is, explain the genesis of Come Tuesday. Scott Woodford here, member for 10 months, says, good afternoon, guys. Thanks for making my workday go faster. While we're taking this brief break from our SmackDown recap, Steve, let's talk the Friendo Club setup.
One of my favorite topics.
203 people, I think, enter part one of our latest Big Blue Predictions Challenge. And you only get access to that thanks to the Friendo Club setup. It's really easy to get the Friendo Club setup. It's not exclusive like the Tribal Chief setup. Anybody can get the Friendo Club setup, even Seth Rollins.
Even Seth Rollins himself.
All you got to do. You're on the YouTube, there's a join button over here. You hit that for the low price of $5 a month. You get the Friendo Club setup.
You get the Friendo Club setup.
You get to enter these predictions challenges. You get bonus episodes. We got one going up later today.
Yeah, we do.
And you get access to the question thread, exclusive access.
Yeah.
But say, hey, I'm not on YouTube. I only, I watch on other platforms or listen. But guess what?
I don't trust YouTube. You say, I don't trust YouTube.
I don't trust Bob YouTube. I listen to the audio. Well, guess what? You can go to patreon.com/Stephen Larson. Become a $5 Patreon, you get the same benefits you would being a YouTube channel member.
You might not like Bob YouTube, but you can trust Pete Patreon.
Yeah. And so those are the two ways to get the Friendo Club set up. We appreciate everybody who signs up for the Friendo Club setup. Every person who signs up for the Friendo Club setup gets us closer to the Tribal Chief setup.
Yeah, let's be honest, because if there's one thing that we like here at Going in Raw, it's transparency. And transparently, we're trying to get rich as fuck. And the only way we're going to do that is if you guys help us get there. But we're not asking for charity. We are going to offer goods and services, bonus episodes, question threads, access to the predictions challenges. Come on. What more is there to want out of life?
It's a great value, honestly.
It's best value, top value.
But also, set aside the Friendo Club setup. Thank you, everybody. If you're watching here on the YouTube, whether it's live, VOD, got a couple of favors to ask you. First, hit that thumbs up button. That's the like button. It gives us the validation we crave. Plus, it's good for the video and the algorithm that Bob YouTube has. Right now, we got 804 people watching, yet we only have 149 likes. We need to at least double that up.
We got to get that dopamine, man. We need that dopamine.
Yeah. Need that endorphin rush and getting validation. So please hit that thumbs up button. Please like the video. It's great for the video. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. Hit that subscribe button. We got a goal in mind. Hey, it's palindrome week.
It is.
Today, it's a palindrome. 422024. Oh, my goodness gracious.
All week?
All week. Palindromes. 42224. Yeah, I guess that is, huh? And we're trying to reach a palindrome here at Going in Raw. We're trying to get to, what is the next palindrome? That's the
202,202 subscribers.
Oh, man. Can't wait to get to that. What a great number that is.
We're like 900 and change away. So every subscriber counts. So please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button.
Already.
And if you want more Stephen Larson, hit join. Go to patreon.com/Stephen Larson, $5 patron. You get all the benefits of the Friendo Club setup.
Looking at the Friendo Club star ratings, looking at the comments, and oh man, there's some. Oh yeah, our influence is growing. Our ability to create angry people, basically doing star ratings. It's really getting us to where we want to be, Larson.
Yeah. Wow, look at this one.
What does it say?
If you prefer Night 2 WrestleMania main event more than Ospreay Danielson, just say you're a sports entertainment guy and aren't really into actual wrestling.
Hey, who said that? Give us the name.
Peter. I can't. It's too small. I can't read it.
Oh, Peter. Is it not Pete Patreon, is it?
No.
Oh, okay. Just making sure because I thought he was cool. Yeah, man. You know, hey, maybe I'm a sports entertainment guy.
Maybe you are a sports entertainment guy. After all this time, we're finally realizing it. Going back to SmackDown. Next, we had Carlito versus
Santos Escobar.
Thank you. Santos got the win here. Not a huge surprise. So towards the finish, Carlito goes up the top rope. Elektra Lopez gets on the apron, and Zelina comes over, yanks her off, looks to hit her with a Rana off the apron, but Lopez catches her and then swings her into the barricade. So this kind of distracts Carlito. He gets back in the ring, and as he's stepping through the ropes, Santos kicks the middle rope right into Carlito's front area.
Yeah.
Throws him in the post, hits him with a Phantom driver to get the win.
You would think a savvy veteran, especially a guy who used to take the shortcut, would scout that, would know that. You know, but he puts his dick and balls right there on that middle rope.
Here's the thing. Carlito's mind is still so preoccupied because he attacked Dragon Lee.
Yeah,
when are they going to find me out?
Yeah, the dopamine he got from attacking Dragon Lee. As Heather points out, the serotonin. His serotonin levels were off the charts, Larson.
Yep.
Anyway, so yeah, he got hit with that Phantom driver. Took the L to Santos Escobar. So where does that leave Carlito? If he attacked Dragon Lee, I thought it'd be maybe he was going to join Santos Escobar, but I don't think so now.
No, I don't think so either.
Is he going to be just going to go off on his own?
Maybe.
Oh, wow. Anyways, after that, we had a Damage Control interview because they were in the luxury box, and Kayla's there with them. And she's like, why are you guys here? And Dakota's like, are you trying to be disrespectful? Io's going to take her title back when she's good and ready. Tonight, we're just here to watch two people we can't stand tear each other apart. But I need to remind you and everybody here, Damage Control is still the most dominant force in WWE. Kabuki Warriors are still your WWE Women's Tag Champions, and that's not going to change. And then you hear, Storm's coming. Jade Cargill's music hits. And then the luxury suite next to Damage Control, that's where Jade and Bianca are, and they're all just talking shit to each other.
Then we got Cody dropping a promo from a house show in London. Isn't in the ring? No, is backstage in front of a backdrop.
He was all sweaty. It was post-match, I think.
Yeah, I think so. So he's talking about, hey, I finished my story. It's a new frontier, an undiscovered country. A couple of Star Trek references there.
I know. The dude, he just reminded me why he's absolutely number one. Throw your ones up for Cody Rhodes, Larson.
Oh, that's not how it works. You only throw the ones up for the bloodline.
No, man, throw your ones up for Cody Rhodes.
I refuse to throw it up for Cody.
It's a new frontier.
I only do it for my tribal chief.
The undiscovered country. Oh, dropping the Star Trek references? Are you kidding me? Let me get on WWE Shop right now, man. I got to get a Cody shirt.
One of everything.
I love the sports entertainment stuff, dude.
One of everything of Cody's. So Cody continues, there is a saying, the belt doesn't make the man, but the man can make the belt. What will it be for me? He says, I'm in London now, Belfast tomorrow. Keep my promise to bring the WWE title around the world. AJ has emerged as number one contender. AJ has an unprecedented reputation. He's the modern excellence of execution. AJ rarely misses, but I don't miss either.
Yeah, man. I appreciate people here throwing up their ones for Cody. Come on, Larson.
That's not how it works. I refuse.
There you go. Big MGM says one's up for the kingdom. Maggie, throw your ones up for the kingdom. Come on,
Maggie. We don't know. Nope.
Does
someone say one's up for the kingdom?
Kingdom. J Mike says the Four Lights podcast rebirth when I can get Cody Rhodes on to the Four Lights podcast, I'll be like, hey, Cody, I'm from the Star Trek podcast. Would you like to come on? And he's like, oh, let me take a look at this. He's like, yeah, I haven't uploaded an episode in 3 years.
He said, but yeah, I want to have you on to talk about whatever you want to talk about. And what does Cody want to talk about? Enterprise, probably, huh?
God, man, hopefully we can just spend an hour savaging Enterprise. I hope. I don't know. I don't know how he stands on Enterprise.
I don't know.
Maybe, hey, listen, if there's any friendos out there who end up front row or at a meet and greet with Cody, can you please ask him what his thoughts are on Enterprise? Anyways.
There you go.
So we've got Naomi versus Bailey for our that was our main event, wasn't it?
It was really good.
Oh man,
fun
breezy
match.
episode of SmackDown. Yeah, no, this match was rad. This was really, really cool. Here's my only thing though, man, and this is where my booking philosophies come into stark contrast with Paul Levesque, the game, Triple H, King of Kings. I don't like when they do the long match and the long finish, man. You give us this long, meaty match, and then, hey, I love that Tiffany Stratton's getting involved back, into this scene with Naomi and Bailey and all that. I like that. Maybe we'll get a triple threat at the Backlash. But yeah, you give us this really great match, and then just somebody comes in, wonks the shit out of it, and then we're sort of done. I'm not huge on that. I'm not either.
That being said, it was done pretty effectively here where Tiffany interferes and then just lays them both out. Hits the moonsault on both of them. And stand talls to end the show. So it was pretty effective in that regard.
That moonsault of hers is great.
It's fantastic. So yeah, really good match. They're both Bailey and Naomi outside. Bailey hits a Bailey to belly on Naomi on the announce table, and that's when Tiffany runs out and hits a forearm on Bailey. So the ref throws out the match, and then Tiffany's just wrecking both Bailey and Naomi ringside, puts them both in the ring, moonsault on both of them. And she stands tall to end the show. So yeah, it seems like it might be a triple threat type situation.
Could be, yeah. Anyways, we also have, of course, a Monday Night Raw tonight, and lucky to the friendos out there who are a big fan of Bret the Hitman Horse. He's back today to talk about Raw tonight. So we'll see what he has to say. Let me zoom him in. Larson, are you ready?
No.
Are you ready? I should have said it like this. I'm sorry. Are you ready?
Not at all, no.
Oh, that didn't work? Really? I thought that would have worked.
No, it's not going to fire me up. Not at all.
All right, man. Hey, everybody in the chat, throw your ones up for Bret Hitman Horse.
Not how it works.
What? What are you talking
do
about?
ones up for your tribal chief. Acknowledge.
Oh, he's in the waiting room. Bring him in.
All right.
Oh, hi. This is Bret the Hitman Horse. How you guys doing?
Hey, Bret, I don't know if you heard. We had some Goldberg news today. Can I get your take on Goldberg saying there's no chance he's ever going to be in AEW because he thinks
of course there's no chance he's going to be in AEW, no. Because I was the first champion there, and I already told Tony Khan, I was like, don't bring that son of a bitch Bill Goldberg. You can bring any number of people there. You can bring El Dandy in if you want. He's great. I think El Dandy's great, but Bill Goldberg, no way. No how. Not going to happen. No.
All right.
So he's cheesy. That's what I have to say about him.
All right.
Has he ever, taken a horse and brought it into a barn, into the privacy of a barn, and tried to make a person out of it?
Let's talk Monday Night Raw, yeah? Are you going to watch Raw tonight? What?
I've got some exciting news on frontier science when it comes to horses and humans. I've got very exciting news. Do you want to hear it?
No, not at all. I want to talk about Monday Night Raw because it looks like it could be a fun show. We got a battle royal to determine the new Women's World Champion. Who's your pick to win this match?
Here, I'm cutting Brett off for a second. Let's talk about this battle royal going down on Raw.
Yeah.
Really? A battle royal? You're not going to do like a proper tournament? What the hell?
Yeah, I know. Do a gauntlet match.
Yeah. Yeah, something cool like that. A battle royal?
I guess
don't
they
know
want to
about
have they have the listing of participants here on .com. Becky, Shayna, Zoe, Natalia, Tegan Knox, Ivy Nile, Maxine Dupree, Katana, Caden, Nia Jax, Liv Morgan, Piper, Chelsea, Candice, and Indy.
Who would be your pick?
11, 12.
Not
13,
a
14,
prediction,
15.
but like if you had if Paul Levesque gave you the book.
I mean, the name that makes the most sense is probably Liv Morgan.
No.
Who I would actually pick?
Who would you pick? Wait, where are you looking at the names? Is it on the .com?
It's on .com, yeah.
Preview. All right.
I'd have Bianca show up and win it. Have her be the World Women's Champion, still go after the tag titles with Jade.
Becky, Shayna, Zoe, Natalia, Tegan, Ivy, Maxine Dupree, Katana, Nia. You know what I would do? It'd be Nia. Nia's done such great work lately.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say Rhea's out until SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Like SummerSlam's going to be her first match back. I think you could do Nia now and prove that Liv deserves to be in the same ring with Rhea by having Liv beat Nia in the interim. So like Nia has like a 2-month run, like during summertime or something.
Yeah.
And Liv, maybe Liv wins Money in the Bank and does the thing where she cashes in at the pay-per-view. But it's an opportunistic cash in. But like Nia's kind of a dominant force. So it's like Liv's like finds herself in a position where it's like, well, shit, I cashed in. My initial like offense didn't get the job done. So now I'm in kind of an actual match with her and she still gets the job done against Nia. Liv wins. So then she's got the credentials. Winning it in a battle royal, I don't know if that's going to be, I mean, obviously she'll have title defenses, but I don't know. I kind of like the idea of like Nia Jax winning this thing. And then Liv has to beat her one-on-one to get it to sort of prove that she can hang with Rhea Ripley.
Okay.
I think that'd be that's how I would do it anyways.
Also on Raw, we got the Awesome Truth defending the tag titles against We Are DIY. Ricochet and Andrade teaming up to battle Judgment Day. So Dom and I would guess JD. And then Gunther returns to Raw.
Gunther, the ring general. What do you want him to do, man?
Chop somebody. A lot.
Okay. Like storyline wise though, like where would you?
I mean, ideally, it's not going to happen. But I want him to. He's going to look strange with no championship on him.
Yeah.
It's an unfamiliar sight. So have him beat Damian Priest, new World Heavyweight Champion. Tonight, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Like maybe he's sad Gunther.
Yeah.
And, while he was champion, super fit Gunther. Now, without the title, he's rocking the double stuff.
There we go.
And it's like 2 sleeves are done by the time we even see this guy.
There we go.
And, Ludwig's like...
don't talk food. I'm hungry. I don't know why I'm so hungry lately.
Ludwig's like, dude, what? Dude, why did you take all those... And he's like, I'm so upset right now. And so he's like, we're about to work on his 3rd sleeve. And Liv is like, duh, you want some milk with that? And he's like, no, I want my title back.
Yeah.
And he's like, duh, it's too bad. You're not going to get it. And then he goes after Damian Priest.
All right, there we go.
All happens tonight. And then he
all
wins
tonight, yes. And the show closes with him as new World Heavyweight Champion.
And he's like still working on that 3rd sleeve. He's like, this is my prize.
Oh, during the match, like Damian Priest is down. He's got the pack of double stuffed in the corner there.
Yeah.
Just grabs a couple. Eats them mid-match.
That's the dopamine, serotonin.
Yeah, exactly.
What was the one
rush.
the endorphins. Oh man. All right. Anyways, hangover episode of Going in Raw is in the bag here, man. I think we're good for the day. Oh well, we still have
We've
to
got
answer questions, don't
yeah.
we? Oh man, I was about to scoot out of here. What a bummer. All
We could
right, so I
lightning
gotta
round
answer
some of
questions.
these. Brian Green says, other than Jacob Fatu, is there any other people you want to join the bloodline? What about Zilla Fatu? Been making some waves in the independents.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. I think that's great. How about Von Wagner Fatu?
Yeah. Von Anawai.
Von Anawai. Von Hawaii.
Alex Foster says, with all the talk of New Japan wrestlers calling out management regarding titles in AEW and it's supposedly being storyline, do you think it's a good idea or just too messy? I just saw that Suji was talking about Mox being champion.
What's Suji's problem with it?
Probably just not him.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Hey, you know what? Suji, work harder, right? Get your title shot and win it. How about that? Bring it back to New Japan, buddy. John and Alistair voice says, no, I'm fine with it because we got Forbidden Door coming up here.
Yep.
John says, what normal strike or throw do you think could be used as a finisher?
Gunther chop.
I think he's finished people with a chop
I
before.
think so. You know, it'd be interesting if someone beat Mox for the IWGP World title at Forbidden Door. You could actually get a title change there.
Oh my God, that'd be cool.
That would be cool.
That'd be interesting. Yeah, Jade's pump kick.
Yeah.
It's a killer pump kick.
It really is. Let's see here. Jonah here says, is it me or did Willow's first singles title win AEW seem to lack the enthusiasm it deserved? The match was short. They've invested so much time in that story and only have a 6-minute blow-off match. It was kind of a bummer. And we don't know if, again, if Julia's injured and that might have played a role in it, and don't know, or if it's simply Tony Khan booking a short match. But they spent a lot of time on that story. Give it a proper blow-off, a longer blow-off, if you know, both participants are up to a longer match. Absolutely.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I think, you know, I'm still, and I wonder, I don't know, how do the, like, Mercedes coming out and taking a little bit of the spotlight. I get it. I don't know. I'm still unsure how that's all going to play out.
I know.
Let's see here.
Well, that's an interesting idea. George Calloway says, is it a possibility that we get the last two competitors get eliminated simultaneously tonight and then they fight for the title at Backlash?
Oh, sure, maybe. That could be. Royal Kong says, what's Solo's ceiling as this current iteration of the Tribal Chief?
If he could consistently keep his character super interesting and do some good work, you know, I don't know if he's going to be a perennial main eventer, but I think at the very least he'll get an opportunity to prove that he can be a main eventer.
I think if he nails that, I think his ceiling is top guy. I really do.
Yeah, I think it's pretty high. Yeah,
you know, I think if he's displayed this level of charisma and character development in such a short period of time after being kind of stagnant, it's on him to prove that he can't be that top guy. You know, I think he's done a really terrific job in a really short amount of time.
Yep.
Let's see here. Tuedes Bien Loco says, if wrestling promotions such as WWE are worried about roster budgets, can't they restructure wrestlers' contracts similar to what other professional sports organizations do? Maybe you never hear a wrestler XYZ agree to a restructured contract. I've never heard of that either. Maybe it's just not a normal thing in the wrestling business.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I don't know. We're not that deep in.
Yeah. Blake Whitehouse here says, what do you think of NXT Battleground taking place at the UFC Apex in Las Vegas? It was confirmed today by WWE that they're moving it from, I think it's supposed to be in Savannah, Georgia, Battleground, to the UFC arena in Vegas. You know, I guess they got the TKO. It's WWE and UFC under one corporate umbrella. You know, the UFC brand name carries some value to a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
It would make sense to do as much crossover as you can, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. I'm not well educated on the UFC's Apex, so I don't know what the benefits are necessarily. Like, what's the major?
I think just to have the UFC name attached to be and vice versa.
Oh, you think that's what it is?
I
Okay.
think so, yeah.
CB85 says the Apex is so trash.
All right.
Mr. J says it's a very small venue.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd have to see it. Once I see it, I'll be able to make a proper determination.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I can't. I saw this news before I went live tonight. I was like, okay, cool, right on.
Yeah.
It holds 500 people.
Oh, wow, that is small. That's interesting. They've been doing a pretty good job of selling a good amount of tickets for their PLEs when they're on the road.
So they took it out of how big was the venue that it was
I
going
don't
to
know.
be?
I don't know. So Dangam Q says the Apex seats 1,000,
Okay.
which is significantly larger than the Performance Center, but still much smaller than the houses they've been getting when they do PLEs. So
You know, the bottom line is it's going to depend on how they light it, the energy of the crowd.
yeah,
If it's like just a super hot crowd and you got 1,000 people there, then
maybe it's a test run for, hey, if we do venues this size and take the show on the road.
it could be. Let's see here.
Luis here asked, do you see Joe ever coming back to WWE? I don't know. Like, I don't know. I mean, he seemingly had a really good relationship with Triple H.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You know, I don't know how much time he has left on his AEW deal. I don't know how much longer he plans on competing. You know,
And
but
is
if
he happy there?
yeah, when his wrestling days are done, as an active competitor, but wants to still be involved in the business, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes back to WWE and takes whether it's a producer job or I think he was doing scouting for a stretch before his second release.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, if he wants to work in talent development, something like that, I would not surprise me.
I would not be shocked as well. I agree with that. Yeah. All right, man. I'm out of questions over here. There's a lot. I mean, there's a lot more questions, but they all have to do with Christmas Mousepad.
Yeah, we got a few of those over here too.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully Christmas Mousepad lands on his feet as well.
Hopefully.
You know, I'm sure he'll be fine. Again, unique charisma with Christmas Mousepad.
Indeed.
Yeah. Anyways, that's going to do it for the show today. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We appreciate it. Tune in tomorrow for our WWE Raw review.
Yeah.
Till next time, we'll see you around.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Where's the button? Here's the button.